Stan Gibilisco here with an explanation of how to read an old-fashioned electric meter. Remember those old-fashioned meters, those mechanical meters which would display numbers in a cryptic format such as what you see here. This discussion is carried on in my book Teach Yourself Electricity and Electronics 5th edition. In chapter 3, you will find this in this particular drawing shown as figure 3-11 on page 45, and we have an example of an old-fashioned rotary kilowatt-hour electric meter. Now nowadays we have these smart meters that just show you the kilowatt hours as a digital number, but they're just about as cryptic, in my opinion, as these old ones were, just in a different way, because the new smart meters display a whole lot of other data, and unless you know what you're looking at, you won't know what those numbers stand for. You won't even know what quantity they're talking about. You have to know a little bit about that, but suppose that you walk out to your... Now there are other kinds of meters besides electric meters that have this kind of a display, and I'll show you an actual photograph of one in a minute. But right now we're going to look at this example, figure 3-11. You read from left to right generally, but the largest numbers are on the left, just like in a digital numeric system. This might be the ones place, the tens place, the hundreds place, and then the thousands place. Now you can see that these numbers increase going counterclockwise in this scale. They increase going clockwise in the next one, then counterclockwise, and then clockwise again. So let's read from right to left. The ones place, well, no, let's read it the other way around. Let's start over from left to right. Now, in the absence of any other information, we can assume that that is the ones place, that is the tens place, that is the hundreds place, and that is the thousands place. Sometimes you'll have more dials than this, and sometimes you won't start at the ones place. It'll start maybe at the hundreds or the thousands place. But it'll tell you that on the meter. In this particular generic example, this is the thousands place. We're 3,000, 4,000. We're more than 3,000, but less than 4,000. This needle will rotate counterclockwise over and over and over again as more and more electricity is used. This one will rotate clockwise. Well, we have a little less than 4 here, so it's 3,000 and something. Here we have 800, 900. Now we know we have 3,800 and something. As electricity is used, this needle will rotate clockwise 10 times as fast as that one does. 3,800 and something. Well, now this one again will go counterclockwise 10 times as fast as that one did. So we have something more than 70 and something less than 80. 7 times 10 is 70, 8 times 10 is 80. 3,870 something. Okay, finally this scale here will rotate clockwise like that, because the numbers increase going clockwise 10 times as fast as this one, 100 times as fast as this one, and 1,000 times as fast as this one. Or we might say this one will rotate 10 times slower than this one, which rotates 10 times slower than this one, which rotates 10 times slower than this one. It's a little more than 5, so we can say 3,875 and just a wee bit more kilowatt hours. That's the quantity that's being measured. Kilowatt hours. 3,875 and a fraction kilowatt hours. Well, there are other kinds of meters, as I told you. And here's a photograph of one. Now this one is my gas meter. The gas meaning methane, which is used to heat my house. It runs the furnace. That's the only appliance in my house that runs off of so-called natural gas or methane. This here illustrates cubic feet at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. This scale means 1,000 cubic feet per revolution. This scale means 10,000 cubic feet per revolution. This scale means 100,000 cubic feet per revolution, 1,000,000 cubic feet per revolution. So each one of these numbers is 100. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000 cubic feet per revolution. So this, we might say, is the hundreds place. This is the thousands place. That's the 10,000s place, and that's the 100,000s place. So from here I can assume it's, see, now notice this goes counterclockwise. That one goes clockwise. This one goes counterclockwise, and this one goes clockwise. So we have the 100,000s place, so we're somewhere between 100 and 200,000. So 100,000 and something. Now we're going to the clockwise meter, 100,000 and maybe 2 times 10,000, 120,000, 120 some thousand. Okay? Well, we go here. It looks like, I guess it's about 128,000 and something. Because remember, we go in the direction that the numbers increase. 128,000 and something. Well, that looks like just about 300. 128,300 would be what I would get by literally interpreting these numbers. 128,300 cubic feet at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Now that's a cumulative reading. Actually, now they have wireless radios in these meters so that nobody actually has to come around and look at these things anymore. I guess they were attacked by people's dogs or, you know, things like that. They just figured they'd save some money by not having a person go around, so all these things are linked wirelessly. I've often wondered what would happen if an error were to occur. I guess that has occasionally happened. I remember one time a meter like this got all iced up in the winter. It was an electric meter before they put a smart meter in my house. Got all iced up in the winter, and the guy or gal who came around to read it didn't read it right, and I got a really, really low, strangely low electric bill that month. And I figured, well, when the ice melts, they'll come back and they'll read it again, and I'll get a high bill, and it'll make up for it. You know, the law of averages literally operating, and in fact, that is what happened. But that's the way you read these meters. They're, you know, they're kind of cryptic. They're kind of old-fashioned. But I kind of like old-fashioned stuff, too, because it tended to be more robust. One wonders, that little wireless radio that they got in this thing now, if there's a nearby lightning strike, and we get something known as an electromagnetic pulse. You've heard of that in relation to what could happen with a gamma ray burst from far away in the galaxy or a solar flare on the sun. Well, nearby lightning strikes can also do it. Fry that little wireless device in there, and it would end up, well, you know, that's the price you pay for progress. I remember one time I was talking about little flaws like this in some of our modern devices. And I said, I was talking to some technical people. It had to do with electronic books, also known as, what would you say, e-books. By the way, my book, Teach Yourself Electricity and Electronics, fifth edition, is where I discuss that meter again in chapter 3. You can get this as an e-book, but you better be careful, because depending on which platform you use, some of the tables are going to come out completely unreadable. You should be warned about that, and that's one of the little flaws. I was talking about that and all this highfalutin new technology, which is wonderful, you know, but it's got its problems. And this guy, when I mentioned how errors were creeping into my work, like this particular example, not just errors, but just complete discombobulations in certain places of the electronic rendition. And he said, well, I hate to use the old phrase, but that's progress, he said. To which I replied, if that's progress, I'd hate to see what perfection looks like. Stan Gibilisco signing off. You can go to my website, sciencewriter.net, and get information comes with all of my books, quiz answer explanations, video explanations to some of the final exam answers, and of course a link to Amazon.com so you can buy all my stuff. Please buy all my stuff. Stan Gibilisco signing off from the Black Hills of South Dakota, United States of America. Until next time, so long.